That's the intro music. Yeah! Woo!
Hey Star Trek Fleet Commanders, just a heads up, this is Thanksgiving week here in America, so a lot of the videos you might see are either delayed or pre-recorded. That doesn't mean I'm not available to talk though, so if you want to reach out to me on Facebook, Discord, etc., please do. It will be a busy week here in Star Trek Fleet Command, which I think is a good thing. So hit me up if you need me. All the links to all that stuff is in the comment section down below. But if you're curious, why is this video a little bit late, or why is Rev maybe not here on a Tuesday or Thursday, that's why. Because family is first, always, and hopefully that's the same for you. Now, as we get started today, we're talking about some of the good things. If you're an upper level player for G6, G7, etc., where Crucible of War is finally getting updated. But before we do that, I want to make sure that you are seeing these two boxes and that you're collecting them, especially this box right here, the anniversary celebration. There's gonna be several of these, several anniversary things that we're going to want you to be collecting. So if you're not already, make sure you're hitting those buttons. The good news is though, that there is going to be continual reminders from both me and others in STFC, but keep that in mind. If you checked out the live stream, we went over the full slate of events that'll be rolling out this week. This is actually week one. There'll be a 2-week break between November and December's arc. So gives you a little bit of time to play catch up and to catch up on all the different things that the game wants you to do, or just whatever you feel like doing that day, because that's what the game should be. So rotate now. Here we go into the Crucible of War update. As I said, this particularly is going to be impactful to you G6, G7 players. And if nothing else, it's making it worth doing again. Now, you might have been doing Crucible of War before. For those who are maybe newer to the game, Crucible of War is a very common between arcs event set where an alliance works together. Everybody completes their work, everybody then contributes to like a single pot, and you get rewards, especially things like alliance credits, but then also armada directives, which is the big thing that we talk about for your G3, G4, G5 players, getting those armada directives needs, speed ups, etc. But now we're getting updates to both the scoring and second of all, we're getting updates to the rewards. So first, let's start with the ALB, G7, and G6 updates. Then we'll focus on hostile kills. Players in Alliance will score by defeating hostiles. This is the same as it's always been, and players will earn rewards equal to the amount of points per hostile kill, regardless of the hostile level. So updated rewards will include Sigma Tritanium for the ALB, that's the Alliance leaderboard, for all G6 and above players. That includes G7. And the materials will scale to your level. This is a massive update because obviously we're talking about G6 and G7 together is tens of thousands of players. Now, while it's still the smaller subsection of the game, for many of you who are in alliances in STFC, you've noticed that you've got a lot of folks who maybe didn't do it anymore. And why is that? Because as the game has continued to age, especially for our original servers, reshuffle real quick. Let's just use the one on server 20 as an example. When you jump into it, check out the player's level. And you can do this to anyone in your list. Like just go to the top alliances on your server. Odds are you're going to see a lot of this. And you see lots of G7, G6, get on down, you'll find G4, but not many. And what I'm really trying to get across here is as the game has continued to progress, more and more of the upper level alliances lose players that have effect from this. And the drawback is there were still a lot of players in that list that I just showed you that benefit from Crucible of War. But obviously, if you're a G6 or G7 player, what's the point of doing it? This game has too much as it is, so it's understandable they took a step back. This is giving you value for it. And obviously, Sigma Par still, Sigma Tritanium is big for those players. Moving on to the SMS for the G7 updates. It'll be a Crucible of War specific SMS event for Ops 71 and above players. Those are our G7 players, Veil players, however you want to word those out, that you will be focusing on level 71 and above hostile. So using that Janeway Suitor Seska crew, or, you know, even Chang Suitor Seska if you've got Wrath of Conqueror below decks. Check out that video, by the way. Really good for you upper levels. But players will earn bonus points if they use the Vengeance or their G7 FKR combat ship. Yeah, because there's so many people rocking the 73 uncommon ships so far. So bonus points if you're using a Vengeance. Ship tiers no longer count. Now, this is a big one that may cause some frustration out there. With every good thing, there must be a negative in STFC. And this is going to be that for a lot of players. But at the same time, I still believe it is a net win for just about everybody. And like if you agree. So you will lose ship tier up, but you'll have to hunt the hostiles. G7 players will continue to earn the Gold Alliance trophies at the same rate, mainly because they're not updating what those rewards actually pay out in terms of like the cost to the boxes or anything. So getting the same amount is actually fine. So you will just have the new payouts though when you do your turn-ins. Crucible of War AMS, so that's the Alliance milestone for those who are not familiar with STFC's vernacular and shorthand. So no changes to the Alliance milestone points, rewards, or scoring, but you have a bonus scoring for players who use the Vengeance or the G7 FKR combat chips. Last but not least, we have Crucible of War event store updates, G7, G6. So ship reward pack, research station, and speed up pack. All 4 of these standards that you're used to will be updated for G6 and above players, allowing them to get Sigma Parsteel, Sigma Tritanium, Sigma Dilithium, as well as the materials that apply to their level. Now, before anybody asks, the actual events we have not been shown. So I have not seen what the events actually scale at. And it's very possible, because this starts on Tuesday, November 25th, it's very possible that those are not going to be great. They could be great. They could be fine. They could be saying what you're used to. But just warning y'all ahead of time, I've not seen those. So while I do think that this is fantastic, that we're getting the rewards updated, I do want to preface that by saying I've not seen the events themselves. So if there is a need for those to be augmented, changed, or feedback to be delivered, don't forget to hit up your favorite Ginger content creator, because I will gladly be the one who wades through the water and makes that happen. I'll gladly do it if needed. But still think this is a fantastic addition, allowing players to get those materials and Sigma resources that they desperately need so they can make their life easier. And the economy is getting better. Also, a faction hunt update is coming. Same thing we just talked about, by the way. This is going to cover everybody, Ops 20 and above. Big thing here, no longer having the upgrade as a scoring mechanic. See, we're removing ship tier up requirements to focus purely on defeating hostiles. Again, if the milestones are reasonable, that's fine. But there is a reason to make sure we note that as players, because that could be a bit scary. Point scaling is being adjusted to include G7 hostiles. Milestone requirements are being rebalanced to align with the new scoring system. And Ops 70 below players will now receive more materials and faction credits. Ops 61 through 70 players will also see an increase in faction rep payouts. That does sound good. We'll see. And then finally, the ALB for Faction Hunt is removing the ship tier up, as we just said. This is a theme throughout this list. And payouts for Alliance credits will remain the same, while payouts for materials and Ultra Recruits will be increased. Now, again, that's pretty, in my opinion, fine, because shields still cost the same. Nothing's really changing there. Stays pretty much how it was. So you can even call that the status quo. It's not really much of a change. So you're going to have the same shield cost. All that's going to be there. You still have the sliders for those that don't remember. Here, let me go ahead and go back to the game real quick. Boop, hit your store button. Remember, we have sliders now, so that's nice. But yeah, you need to go grab you 50? Now you can. Now, this isn't a list, and I want to give a big thank you to a list of content creators myself. I know Nigel argued for it. I know Samo's talked about it in her streams. Lube has talked about it. Crucible of War has value to most people in the game. Now, Faction and Crucible of War have value to more people in the game. And it's because of people like y'all who are watching this video, who make sure that content creators like myself are giving the feedback, the moderators are giving the feedback, shout out to Stony Dude, etc., that this continues to happen. So as much negative as we've had, I did make this comment in the live stream. I still think it's true. In fact, comment down below if you agree with it. I feel like lately, this isn't necessarily a good thing, but lately the between month break arcs have been the best ones. Like the ones with the flash passes, those weeks have been the best. And I'm hoping this update continues with that theme. Let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. Live long and plunder. Stay safe out there. Deuces. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope y'all are wonderful. And I will see you on the next one.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.